I hope you're gleaning something out of it, because this is literally how I converse with the homeowners. These are literally some of the things I say. So if you want to maybe take this back this video and just cut this segment, man, that when you sign the agreement, you've got to send some earnest money in, whether that's $100 or $500 or $1,000 or $2,500 or whatever it may be. Okay, those ugly house deals require that, a lot of them, especially if you're using a realtor. Okay, so strategy number one, right? Always go for, hey, Mr. Homeowner, why would I give you earnest money, right now before the inspection period? So why would I do that when I'm going to have to inspect the property? I might need to get the money back. How about this? I'll do the $500 that you're asking. If I put the $500 you're asking on the agreement here, and it's due the day my inspection period ends, is that something you're comfortable with? Can we go ahead and move forward with that? That is a winner for me a lot of times. Okay. So, for example, if the homeowner is wanting $500 down, you're going to want to put on the agreement, Mr. Homeowner, if I put on the agreement here $500 earnest money due at the end of my inspection period, does that make you feel comfortable? Can we move forward with that? Okay. That's a great strategy. I want you to remember that, and I want you to file that away in the old noggin, okay? Because you'll use that. All right. Here's another one. If the homeowner says, well, no, that doesn't work for me, then what you're going to say is you're going to say, well, Mr. Homeowner, you want $500 earnest money deposit. Is that correct? Yeah. That's a very important thing to you, Mr. Homeowner. Why do you feel that way? Okay, you might dig a little bit and find out what's going on, and maybe that will make him feel better even. Why is this topic so important to you, Mr. Homeowner? Okay, right? All right, so you might suggest this, Mr. Homeowner, like I said before, at the end of the inspection period, I could do the $500 if I put that down on the agreement at the end of the inspection period. If he says no to that, then you go to this. You default to this. Well, Mr. Homeowner, if I put $100 down here on the agreement today and then $400 when the inspection period's over, does that make more sense? And we could go ahead and move forward with that today. Now, I know that might sound petty, okay, but if you're talking to homeowners, right? Yeah, somebody, thank you for putting that in the comments. Why is that so important to you, Mr. Homeowner? Exactly. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that way? Why is this topic so important to you? You might really be enlightened by his response. And maybe it's a trust factor. Maybe he just doesn't like you yet. Maybe he doesn't trust you yet. Okay, and maybe you can overcome some of that by just talking a little bit longer about some of these ideas. So if the $500, for example, at the end of the inspection period doesn't work, then I'll try to break it down. I'll be like, well, what if, Mr. Homeowner, if I put, I totally agree, $500, that makes a lot of sense. But if I put $100 due here today with the signing of this agreement, and then $400 at the end of the inspection period, does that make more sense? And can we go ahead and move forward with that? We're really arguing about a silly amount of money here anyway. But let me, if I do $100 today and $400 at the end of the inspection period, does that make you feel comfortable enough for us to move forward? That sometimes is a winner for me. Okay. That sometimes is a winner for me in the ugly house business. Sometimes it is a winner for me to break it up like that. Okay. $100 today, $400 at the end of the inspection period. Okay. Now we are running into, nowadays there are homeowners that are always wanting way more earnest money than what makes sense too. Okay. And let me give you the general rule, since we're talking about earnest money, and maybe this is kind of, but in this case, let's assume the homeowner is asking for like $5,000. Okay. How many has ever experienced that? $5,000. Yeah. I have. Mr. Homeowner wants $5,000 earnest money. Mr. Homeowner, I 100% agree with you. Let me stroke you, you smart individual, you. Has anybody ever has your wife told you you're a brilliant person yet today? Like I kind of want to, yeah, I'm not trying to be sarcastic with the homeowner, but you feel me here. I'm complimenting him a little bit. Mr. Homeowner, I agree with you. You deserve to have some proof that we're serious. Is that why this is important to you? So I'm conversing a little bit. Mr. Homeowner, $5,000 is a lot. Mr. Homeowner, I kind of have a general policy about this. Do you mind if I share it with you, and maybe you'll understand and we can come to an agreement here on this topic? Mr. Homeowner, my general policy is this, is that I would never put down more earnest money to tie up this deal with you for the next month than it would cost me to rent this place for the next month. Now, Mr. Homeowner, the typical rent in that neighborhood is about $750 a month. Like, I'm just for example, if that's what it is. If it's $1,250, it's $1,250. If it's $1,500, it's $1,500. But in this example, I'm going extreme, and I'm saying this is a cheap little house. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, and this is not unheard of for a $750 a month house for the homeowner to want $5,000 down in earnest money. Okay, Mr. Homeowner, I would never give more earnest money than what I could rent the place for. See, you're allowing me for my earnest money to tie the house up for the next 28 days. Because that's usually how long I write my contracts for. Mr. Homeowner, I could rent that house from you any other month for $750. Okay. It just doesn't make sense for me to rent it from you for the next 30 days for $5,000. Is there anything more reasonable? Catch this now. Is there anything more reasonable we can talk about? Anything much less than $5,000 that you would be comfortable enough to move forward with me on today. Okay. Now that gets you back in the game. What if he comes back and he says, well, I understand. I'm going to need at least $1,000 though. I mean, Mr. Homeowner, we're closing in 14 days or in 21 days, or my inspection period ends in 10 days. We're moving fast. Why would I give you so much money cash just to give you more money later in about a week and a half? Doesn't make sense for me to give you that much money in cash up front. Is there anything more reasonable we can talk about? Okay. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to whittle him down a little bit. Okay. I hope that makes sense where I'm coming from with this. Okay. And then I'll try things like Mr. Homeowner, how about I do that? I don't really care what the number is if I can get it at the end. When my inspection period ends, boom, if it's due then, great, let's just do it. I don't care what the number is, right? Just between you and me, I don't care what the number is. If it's due at the end of my inspection period, okay. If it's going to be due now, Mr. Homeowner, okay, the $1,000 that I talked him down to, let's say, for example, how about if I put it here in the agreement that I do $100 today and then $900 when the day my inspection period ends? Does that make more sense? And can we go ahead and move forward with this today? No, Mr. Homeowner, I have 10-day inspection period here written down on the agreement, which is pretty standard in the state of Missouri or wherever you're at. Okay. And so, Mr. Homeowner, 10 days inspection period. It doesn't make sense for me to pay for vendors and folks to come take a look at the property. And I might have an inspector out there, maybe some contractors, some vendors, and some of these may cost me quite a bit of coin, Mr. Homeowner. And then you want me to also put how much money down just to have the ability to spend more money to inspect it? Sir, doesn't it make more sense for me to give you the entire earnest money the day my inspection period ends? Okay. All right. Do you guys feel me? All right. I'm just talking here, and I hope you're gleaning something out of it, because this is literally how I converse with the homeowners. These are literally some of the things I say. So if you want to maybe take this back, this video, and just cut this segment, man, that